ultimate purpose is not survival. It's finding purpose in what you love. I'm pumped to be branching out and being like, hey, we're going to sit down and have a couple-hour podcast. Is it?
Is it, dude?
Jesus Christ.
You just like talked for 5 minutes. I'm like, is it though? I've always been inspired by this shit.
Dude, that pizza was so greasy.
It was disgusting.
It was not disgusting.
Disgusting.
Tea, so I can fact check us as we talk about random bullshit.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, I should have brought my notebook and I had a couple things. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's it. Oh, I got to do a sync real quick.
Okay, you're good.
Okay. Fuck. Yeah, dude.
Cool. All right. What's
It's
up,
it.
buddy?
It's it. It's live. We're
How are
in it.
you,
We're
man?
in it. I'm good, man. Do we I don't know if you remember, like 9 years ago we recorded one episode of a podcast. Do you remember this?
I do remember it. I thought it might be brought up even. Yeah, it was me, you, and Chris.
Yeah, dude.
Yep, we were sitting in the music room there. We had a table and
Just
me and you
chains.
were on one side, Chris was on the other side. Oh, I remember it.
Yeah, we were chain smoking, and then somehow we ended up like on a Beats app, and we were like making like techno beats on a fucking
In the podcast?
In the podcast, we're like, what are we doing?
Savage life, you know.
Can you imagine if we had been doing that for fucking 9 years already?
Yeah, that'd be
My
wild.
levels are fucking peaking.
they?
Peaking. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that'd
fucking,
be
we
weird.
could have been done. We could have been doing this for fucking 9 years already. It's wild.
Yeah,
But
that is. Yeah. No, that's cool that you started this, bro. I definitely draw from some of your ideas that you had, you know, with the podcasting.
Yeah.
It was a couple times me and a couple people that I was talking to were thinking about starting a podcast. Well, they were thinking about starting a podcast and they were talking to me about it, but
Yeah. I think
Things never
everyone,
pan out, you know.
it's such a common thing for people to talk about right now.
Well, it's
They're like,
everywhere.
Dude, let's start a podcast.
Yeah.
I want to start a podcast. Like Paige's coworkers will be like, oh, we have so many stories from the school. We should start a podcast. I'm like, everyone says that, but no one does, man.
Right.
Just like fucking do it.
right.
Just do it. It doesn't like the barrier to entry is not that much.
No.
Like
no.
this is a nice setup and it's kind of like some of this shit's expensive. The
Mm-hmm.
camera's expensive. The fucking interface is expensive, but you don't need all of this.
No.
You can buy a fucking splitter for your phone and just have two shitty like rock band mics
Right.
and that's good enough. And you don't even need the mics. You can just record the audio by itself.
You don't
and do
really
it.
even need a camera if you want to start a podcast.
Right.
Because you don't necessarily.
You just need the audio,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah. I think that was one of the things that kind of was stopping me because I didn't know if I wanted to do. Sorry, because I know this makes noise when we move it.
You're good.
I didn't know if I wanted to do like just the audio or if I wanted to do video and audio. And I'm still, I still don't really know. I have so many different ideas, dude. You know how I am, man.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking of different things and I've just always been like a real creative person. And I think the biggest struggle for me with that has been like doing some of the creative thoughts or putting them in action.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so just starting it, dude, has
Just
been,
starting.
Yeah.
Just starting. That's all.
It's
That's
just
all
small
it is.
step, even, dude. Just a small step as far as like, I think the first thing I did was I bought. I don't know. I think I might have bought like some lights, like backing lights, like just little LED lights or something like that. Just to, what I mean, just was thinking like, oh, it might help in a room if I could get a good room to have a studio in or something to get some
Right.
lights. And then I slowly started buying a microphone and then microphones and then the camera and
Yeah. Dude, just getting started is like the biggest barrier. Just the biggest hurdle is just getting started. It doesn't matter what equipment you have,
Yeah.
Like inside baseball, but we use two different fucking cameras. We
Right.
bought cheap mics that came in a kit, like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like
Right.
not super cheap, but it's
Well,
not
yeah, but-
definitely not fucking like,
yeah.
you
No,
know,
it's not-
Shores or something
yeah, right.
expensive or Sennheisers or whatever.
Yeah, you don't
And then
need-
we had the interface from our days of recording music. So
Right.
this thing's 10 years old, but it works
Right.
fucking great still.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, milk what we can out of this shit, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I
Well,
think
speaking of your podcast, and I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
you're good.
speaking of your podcast, we should tell
Yeah.
people what it is because
Yeah.
I mean, like early in the podcast, we'll get it out there.
Yeah. So I'm starting. I've got a couple of different ideas, but the main one that I'm starting right now is this is going to be my name, Matt Ferrell, still standing.
Yeah.
And me and you were talking about it the other day, and it came up with the name of it on the phone with you.
Dude, I think that the name is fucking
It is
great.
perfect, dude. It is perfect. And another little play on words is my initials are MF, so still standing MF, dude. I could be good.
Still standing, motherfucker.
Dude. So it could be
Yeah.
good. You know, it could be good. Like
I like it.
you
Like
know,
double
make shirts
entendre
or
or
something.
whatever.
Still standing. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
could see.
Oh,
I could
still
see
standing,
that.
motherfucker.
Yeah, so I could
Yeah,
see,
dude.
you know, some good promotion things there that I could even use
Yeah.
with that, dude. So, yeah. So I'm like, that's the name, bro. And so I
Yeah.
made a YouTube channel last night. And
Perfect.
I don't think I sent it to you, but I was going
No.
to. But yeah. So I'll be. I say interviews, but I got to get out of saying that because I don't want it to be like interview style.
Yeah.
More of like just this talking to people that have been, you know, first of all different sorts of people from all different, you know, walks of life, but people that have been through some kind of struggle or some kind of, you know, addiction or incarceration, or, you know, even people that maybe have been sick, gone through some kind of illness that, you know,
Yeah.
came out there. Just, you know, anybody that's been through any kind of, you know, trials or tribulations, man, that's came out the other side and can, you know, talk to other people about how they went through it, to help other people.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's huge. You were talking about wanting to give a platform to people that kind of got a late start in their art too, because of other like having barriers of mental health issues or addiction problems or whatever it is.
Stigma.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
like
for
one of the
sure.
biggest things I think that stops a lot of people from.
I mean, how many men do we know that were so talented, but they avoided the art because it was a waste of time and they have duty, you know, like it's like, you got to get out there and fucking feed your kids.
Yeah.
Don't pursue your purpose, your
passion.
passion.
I really don't think it is. I really don't think it's a waste of time. Now. I mean, I used to,
not.
you know what I mean?
No,
Like, I
it's
think,
not.
yeah. And people say that, you know, because they didn't follow their dreams.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time.
Right.
And so because they sacrificed, you know, what they didn't do, they think that, you know, that's just how it is. And
Dude,
that's how it has to be.
Yeah, man. I mean, like my oldest I had at 19 years old, and like from like 15 to like 18 years old, like the only things I thought about were building skateboard business. It was like, I have like YouTube channels out there that are 15 years old. I have, you know what I mean? Like, you were around, I
still have we need to cut this out, but I still have like a rap song on YouTube.
Yes.
And I still have like some music on YouTube, dude. That's like, God.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
it's
you
kind of
were
cool to
around.
look back on some of that, you know.
Oh,
but
dude,
yeah,
I'm glad. Well, I mean, especially after Levi passed away, I was like,
for
thank
sure.
God I had some of this shit.
Yeah,
I,
I'm gonna
you
need
know.
to get you to send me some of that too, man, because I really don't have much
Yeah,
of anything to do with my brother. Honestly, I really don't, which is kind of sounds fucked up to say.
Right.
Now that I'm saying it out loud.
Well,
but,
I mean, God, but he's,
but
you know,
yeah. I mean, I still live in the house that that he lived in when we lived there together. You know, I'm still at my parents right now, which I'm in the process of finding a place. But it's
nothing wrong with it, dude. Especially with how
dude, it's the
expensive
right-
life is right
man,
now.
it's and I don't really care what people say. It's the right spot for me right now. You know.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. Especially like, I don't know if you want to talk about like the
talk
shit that
about-
you've been through,
Yeah.
but like
Talk about any of that kind of stuff.
when you're like knowing somebody that's in recovery, it's like, dude, you gotta, like, whatever is gonna keep you in recovery and actively accountable.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. Like, fuck ego and all that other
I tell
shit,
people
dude.
that all the time, man.
Forget,
all the time.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's a situation that's working for you and that keeps you on the fucking straight and narrow, then dude, do that.
Yeah.
And your parents, I mean, your mom is a fucking angel. I love your mom to death, man. I haven't talked. I should fucking.
Yeah. They both
should-
say hi. They both
yeah.
they both told me to tell you hi.
Yeah.
Told them I was
Fucking
coming
your
over here.
dad. Your dad is fucking Jack Nicholson,
Dude,
just
he's
this
great.
imposing
He's great.
character that
He
I
is.
fucking love.
Yeah, he's
But-
great.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I love your parents, man. I wish I had stopped over more often over the last few years, but
Yeah.
you know what's God, what's crazy is, like, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, dude, I've been grieving. Well, I guess we should say that your brother, me and your brother were like best friends in high school.
Yeah.
And then he committed suicide,
Yep.
which was fucking brutal for your family, brutal for
every-
everybody,
yeah,
right?
everybody
I mean,
involved,
he was
right?
such a loved person. He was such a silly fuck, just like so thoroughly enjoyable
Goofy.
to be around,
Just
man.
goofy.
And
Yeah.
so like for him to pass away from that, from to commit suicide was just like, fucking what, you know, like,
Yeah.
and but because of that,
I mean, it was a surprise to me even when it happened. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there, obviously, you look back on things in retrospect and you realize, well, maybe that could have been a sign, or maybe this was a sign, or maybe,
Yeah.
but you know, honestly, man, no, up until it happened, you know, it was like, what? You know,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was, I think, shocking to everybody. Yeah, because he never, outwardly never showed that kind of stuff to people.
I mean, he like me and him would always write music together and stuff, and like I feel like when you're creating art, you kind of become more vulnerable and you like let the inner you out
absolutely.
more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like so he definitely showed that like depressive type, you know, during like whenever we would sit down and talk and like we'd have these like heart to heart things about like struggles with being a person becoming a man, and then like having issues with like, you know, whatever family stuff, or like who do I want to be kind of thing, or who are my family, and like do I want to be like them, and you know what I mean, like those coming of age issues,
trying to figure out who you are as a person, man, with all the other outside influences around you, you know what I mean, and trying to find your way.
And God, I remember, I mean it's crazy to think back that like, dude, I've been grieving him longer than I knew him, you know, like I've been I mean like I met him in 2007 and he died in 2012. You know, so it's like, holy fuck, dude.
Wow, 5 years, that was it.
Yeah, it's all. Wow. But I mean, it was all day, every day that
for
we
sure.
could.
Yeah.
Know,
it seemed that's probably why it seemed longer, because it seemed like you were you and Levi and all of us really were friends for a lot longer than that. It seems like, but.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, I've known you for 20 years now.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy to think about.
It is crazy.
Like, what, dude? Like, we were the 20-year-olds.
And I love how we can just hop back in. That's what I've always liked about you, man. And I've always really considered you, you know, even through all the bullshit, man, I've always considered you a real good friend, because we can always just come back and just like, you know, like I seen you yesterday.
Yeah, it's just us. That's how we
making
are.
gay innuendos as soon as I walk in the door. You know what I mean? Like,
immediately, you're like,
damn, boy.
Like, dude, come here, fucking make out with me. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, look at that ass, boy. It got fatter, baby. There you go. In a good way.
I remember when we were doing when we had intro, you're like, we've seen each other's dicks, we're in a band. Like, what do you mean you haven't seen my dick? I've seen your dick. Let me see your dick. Pull your dick out. We're in a band. It's not gay.
It's not gay, dude.
It's not gay. And then we got fucked. Dude, it was, we were laughing. We were dying laughing. Specifically, one night we were all fucking drunk at the house. And you're like, and you just like pulled out a picture, like, bah! And like, it was your dick. And I was like, ah, shit.
Yeah. Awesome.
I was like, all right, fuck. And then I got you back.
Yeah.
I was like, I fucking see your dick and I raise you one. Right?
Yeah.
The girls are just in the other room going like, you guys are such homos.
No,
like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Who did we date? Who are we with?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. We've been through like 4 or 5 iterations of our lives now, and it's crazy. It's great. I mean, every one of us that was in that band is now like divorced, you know, and like started over in some way. It's fucking wild, man.
Did your brother have kids?
No, he doesn't have kids.
Yeah,
no kids. But him, you know, he did get divorced, and like we were all. See, me and Chris talked about this. We were all in miserable fucking relationships or miserable spots when we were trying to have that band work, and like it's like, well, no wonder we were all fucking miserable half the time when we were trying to write or trying to record. You know.
Yeah, trying to bring something together when nothing in our lives was put together.
Nothing, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ, nothing, man. I mean, you were in the throes of your addiction at that time, and I was in a fucking miserable toxic relationship, so I was just pissed off like 90% of the time.
Yeah, I'll have 8 years clean in May.
It's fucking crazy, man. Yeah. It's crazy.
8 years.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, May 23rd.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's wild.
It is wild, man. It is wild.
8 fucking years.
Yeah.
It's great. You know what's? I was thinking about this after we had a conversation about stuff entirely differently, but I was thinking about when we were spending a lot of time together. I started to feel guilty because I was not at all in a mental place to be like helpful.
Oh, yeah.
And like thinking back in like hindsight, I'm like, I remember you came over one time and you were like confiding in me. You're like, dude, I'm high as fuck right now. And like, I did a little coke to like straighten me out a little bit, but like I'm fucked up. And instead of like hearing what you were saying, I was like, if you come to my house fucked up like that again, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know if you remember that conversation. We were in the front, we were standing in the front yard, and I was like, if you come to my house high like this around my kids again, I will beat the shit out of you. And you're like, all right, man, I get it. And I was like, and like, I thought back to that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, was that what I thought you needed?
Well,
You know?
you can only react in the moment, man. Sometimes, you know what I mean.
I feel bad about it though, man, because you were like confiding in me, like, dude, I'm trying, but like, dude, I'm fucked up right now. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I mean, we all have shit going on, man, and you can't, you can't blame yourself for something like that, man.
I should have been more receptive, like, especially knowing you for so long already, and then like knowing what
I don't
you've
know
been
if
through.
I don't know if anything you would have said would have helped anyways. Honestly, you know what I mean. At that point in my life, you know, I just, I honestly don't remember having that conversation with you, but I could see myself having a conversation like that with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, you pulled me outside. You're like, hey, look, I got to talk to you, and you pulled me outside. So we went out front, and I think your ex-wife was in the house hanging out with my ex, and you're like, dude, I'm like super fucked up right now, and you're like, I did a little blow to like try to straighten out, and like I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just like fucked up, and I'm like having a hard time right now, and I was just like, all I heard was like,
I'm fucked up.
Ears ringing.
My kids are here.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this motherfucker's
like,
Yeah,
who knows if he's got? Dude, I mean,
yeah. Is it on the fucking? Is it in the bathroom now?
You don't know. You know what I mean? So
like,
I can totally respect the reaction.
Yeah,
like
like
that,
my
man. So
mind.
that's probably why I was like, I get it, bro.
Yeah,
because I do. Like, hey,
yeah,
should have did that. Yeah, that was.
But I should have. But I shouldn't. I mean, to be accountable, I should have been more receptive and gone like, instead of hearing what I wanted to hear, which was like, hey, I'm doing this shit at your house. I should have heard what you were trying to say, which was like, dude, I'm fucking. I need somebody, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, there was a lot of things, man, that I needed to work on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just, it's crazy. It's crazy looking back on all the things and just, realizing how many people that I really did have that cared about me, even though it felt like, after Levi died, man, it just felt, this thing just, there was no, it was just like no life in anything. Like, just to me, it felt like that. It just didn't feel like there was any reason for anything else to go on. Just you lose somebody like that, your world stops. You know what I mean? And it's like, this is what's going on right now. I can't see anything else around it, and I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with it. And that, using drugs was my escape, man.
Yeah.
And man, I wish, obviously looking back on it now. I wish I would have went about it a different way, but
yeah,
but
God, I mean, we were kids, man. We were kids,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Levi's actually dead, and we're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Where do I go now? Like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
How am I supposed to deal with this?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I mean, I still, dude, it's been fucking 12 years. or 13 years now.
Oh, yeah.
And I still like, I'll hear a band, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's ever been one day that's gone by where I'm not like, just like, even if it's just in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll like randomly remember something I lied to him about. I'm like, why'd I lie?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like,
right.
or like we got in
Yeah.
a fight me and him get in a fight like twice ever. And there's like stupid argument, but I'm like,
Yeah.
why the fuck?
Yeah, it's because you wish that you would have cherished, knowing what would
Man.
knowing what happens. You wish you would have cherished every
Yeah.
moment, and I think that's part of why we do that. Because I do that too, man. I do
Yeah.
that,
I mean, just so
Like,
many.
damn, if I would have known, man, I would have never said this.
Dude,
to
there's so
him.
many random.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, dude. I mean, well, there's so many random things that will like trigger like memories of me and him
for
spending
sure.
time together. And I'm like,
yeah, I can imagine.
just like stupid shit. Like the other day we had corn on the cob with dinner, and one time me and Levi had two girls in my room in the basement at my dad's house, and we ate dinner and whatever, which there was corn on the cob, but like my dog came down, and I pretended that the empty cob was my dick, and he was like, dude, your dick's fucking huge, because he thought it was actually my dick. and like, I would just like, I'm sitting there eating corn on the cob with my 6-year-old, and I'm thinking about that. I'm like, dude, that's so funny that he thought I actually put my dick in my dog's mouth. Like, I was like feeding the dog a cob.
Corn cob, yeah.
Corn cob, like being funny. And he's like, whoa. I'm like, dude,
hilarious.
that's not it.
That's funny.
Or like, dude, if I hear anything Dane Cook, I'm like instantly like right back to those memories of like
Yeah.
2008.
The vicious circle, I think.
Dude, there's just like the Sioux-Fi and the fucking, just like all like, Levi got every one of his fucking mannerisms from Dane Cook, So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know.
I didn't know he liked Dane Cook that much.
Oh, dude, that was like half of what we quoted. Are you
is it?
kidding? Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's fucking don't. Stop. Remember that shit?
I do remember
He'd
that.
fucking put his fingers on your
Yeah,
lips.
and your lips go.
Stop. don't. You get mad and fucking cut it out.
Yeah.
Stop it.
It's funny because like there's still like there'll be times where like me and Lane will be my son Lane will be wrestling in the living room or something, or we'll just be messing around, and my mom would be like, "You guys gotta quit messing around in there. You know, last time you and your brother were messing around in there, you broke the glass window in the dining room." So it's like, you know, it's funny hearing things like that, and then it's cool, you know, because then I get to tell my son a little bit about, you know, yeah, me and Levi, we were, you know, got into it over something stupid, and we were fighting in the kitchen, and Grandma had a glass hutch right here, and I lifted Uncle Levi up, and he ended up pulling his weight back down, and we both went into the glass and broke it, and Grandma was, oh God, she was mad, you know, and he's just looking at me like, you know, he doesn't have any brothers or sisters, so you know, he's like, what?
You
hell?
beat the shit out of each other, huh?
What are you guys doing?
Dude, me and Levi used to just beat the shit out of each other just for fun.
Yeah,
God
yeah,
damn,
me
dude.
and him too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder where he got it from. Dude, I remember one.
Gotta toughen him up.
Dude, I remember one time we just decided that we were gonna learn how to backflip. We're like, dude, let's learn how to backflip. You know how
I still can do a backflip.
you can backflip?
I
didn't know that.
I can still do a backflip.
Dude,
I haven't
yeah.
tried it in a while, so I shouldn't say that. But
You can
last
do a
time
little
I
stretch
tried
up.
one,
It worked.
It worked.
Fucking you know how you get excited and you just go like, yeah, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh fucking yeah, let's
Yeah.
get you garlic, you know. So we're just like, dude, I don't know how to backflip. I can't even do one on a trampoline. Like, oh, we're fucking going outside right now. So we like went outside and we're like, what do we do? And he's like, I don't know, but every video of people trying to do backflips I've seen, like there's someone there to help them. So he's like, just put your hand on my back. And I was like, all right. So I was like standing off to the side and he like went to go jump and he elbowed me in the fucking he elbowed
shit.
me in the face so hard I saw stars. I didn't know like seeing stars was a real thing. But he hit me in the face so fucking hard that I was seeing stars and just like the world was just going like zoom, 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 like side to side. I'm like, holy fuck. He's like, and he just, I don't know, like we fucking laughed it off, of course. He's like, stop being a bitch, you know, whatever. But just stupid shit like that, man. I mean, that was the fucking, that was me and his whole relationship. It's just like, hey, let's just do something that we fucking,
fuckery. Yeah.
Just stupidity, just whatever the fuck came to our mind. Like one day, we had my buddy Danny over, and Danny was like doing parkour or whatever, and Levi and Danny just decided, dude, let's jump off of Matt's roof. And like my dad's roof is like 30 feet in the air.
Right.
And so like Levi was like, should I jump into the tree? I'm like, don't jump into the fucking tree. You're going to rip the tree down.
Right.
So he just jumped straight to the grass and he just boom, like bounced, like hit the ground and bounced a couple times. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was so dumb.
That's great. Yeah.
And then Danny followed him up by doing a front flip off the fucking, I have a video of that on YouTube somewhere. I have to find it, but
yeah, that's crazy.
Danny did a fucking front flip off just unlimited freedom in the summertime, just doing stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
Oh man,
That's funny.
dude. Now I'm going through like the Rolodex of like my favorite fucking Levi stories, and I can't tell half of them because I'm like, you know, I can't like, hey, he fucked one of our buddy's sisters.
Yeah, right.
And
like,
and it was at a house party, and our buddy caught him.
Oh yeah.
So he just saw Levi's white ass flapping.
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
on top of his sister.
Oh, his
sister.
Oh god.
Levi jumped out of the fucking window onto a shed roof to get away from him because he was gonna kill him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that's funny. That's great.
God damn.
Yeah.
I fucking miss him. I like fucking 17 years old. I'm like, if I met a 17-year-old, I'd be like, oh, what's up, kid?
Right. Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, man. We're getting older. We're getting older.
I'm 31. You're 35?
I'll be 35 in April.
God damn.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we'd be fucking 30-year-old?
You know? Glad I made it this far.
No shit, man. No shit.
Yeah. What? How's work going, man? How's that been for you?
It's going, man. Yeah, I just turned out, which means I finished my apprenticeship, so I'm a journeyman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, man. It's
Does that take a long time to have you? Is that what you've been working towards?
yeah,
this whole time?
yeah, 5 years.
Okay.
5 years of school
Yeah.
and work, and yeah, dude. It's it's been a long fucking road. I honestly, when I started it, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but
Yeah.
let's try. Like, I got to do something because I was for people that don't know, I was a fucking maintenance man for like 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
I just like
We worked together.
that's right,
Yeah.
dude. Okay,
At Countryside.
pause.
Okay.
Fucking hard pause.
Okay.
Two things I gotta ask you about.
Okay.
Do you remember there was a girl doing yoga and you called me on the radio? It was like, Matt, I need you over at building blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, I just need your help. and I drive my work truck over there, and there's a chick just stretching in yoga pants in the grassy knoll, and we just parked and watched her.
Dude, that sounds like something we would absolutely do together.
I just backed
in
in
your
right
truck,
next to
in my truck, just separate trucks, just sitting there, just admiring God's great creations, you know?
I just
Like
backed in
two
right.
fucking
I just backed in right
freaks.
next to you, and we're just like smoking a cigarette, watching this
You're
chick
like,
stretch in the grass.
indeed, there is a girl doing yoga here, Matt. Thank you for calling me.
And you'd be like, you'd call me on the radio. Like the property manager would have the radio, like, so she'd hear what was going on. So you'd be like, hey Matt, switch over to 2 real quick. And I'd switch. And he'd be like, dude, there's a hot ass bitch. Like, you gotta come over here.
That's so funny.
Fucking Christ.
And what was the other one?
The other one was you were doing a vacant unit.
Oh, I remember that one.
You remember this?
I remember being. Are we paused right now?
No, we're not paused.
Oh, okay.
We don't
okay,
pause.
Okay.
Why?
Are you talking about when I was laying on the ground, sleeping,
face down, ass up, with your face on a journal, and you're like, I was just taking notes. I was like, dude, you're fucking doing lines. Don't fucking lie to me.
No, I wasn't doing lines. I was nodding out. I was not. I know you and I, because I remember having this conversation. You're like, no, you were doing lines. I'm like, bro, I just got done doing lines. I was not doing lines at that point in time. I swear, I was not. I was like,
I just got done.
I was like, I just got done doing lines. Hence why I was on the ground with my face in the ground.
Dude, you were fucking.
Oh man,
This shouldn't even be funny. This should be fucked up. But,
it's sad.
But
It's
like,
really sad. Dude,
I walked in.
It's funny looking back on it.
I walked in. Your face is on a journal. You're on your knees. Your ass is up in the air. Your face is on a journal, and your hands are behind you. And you're like, you look like you're like about to scoot. I'm like, what? I was like, dude, what?
Like an inchworm or something?
Yeah, and I fucking like pushed you on your ass with my phone. I was like, what are you doing? Like, come on, man.
That's funny.
Dude,
It's funny.
it's so fucked up, but it's so funny.
Yeah.
You gotta laugh at shit. I mean, 8 years sober, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking. I mean, that's the shit. That's the shit that was going on. But
Yeah, it feels great to not
be doing that.
be doing
shit
the
anymore.
inchworm no more, brother. Feels great. Feels good. Feels good, man. That's what we're gonna call that move.
The
okay?
fucking inchworm, dude.
Yeah,
You were
dude.
fucking-
I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start naming moves for like the nods certain like people get, because I know everybody's seen them on YouTube.
Yeah.
The dope nod, the heroin nod, the fent nod, whatever.
What's
you
the
know
one
what
where their legs are up, but their whole body goes like?
I mean? Yeah,
You seen
I
that
don't-
one
That's,
where
that's
that-
what I'm saying. I want to start naming these, having names for them. You know?
You gotta hit that fucking.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Dude, oh man. Yeah, it's fucking God. The amount of shit we have both been through. It's
Yeah.
fucking wild, isn't it?
It is, man.
Like we usually just like, what did you have, a fucking Crown Vic? Like we just drive around your fucking shitty gold car and like smoke blunts and just have fun.
Pick
And then,
people up, like they're just picking. Dude, there's been so many times where I used to drive that car around and like I would start off, and by the end of the night, I had like 7 people in that car.
right, you just pick people up at the nature center or like walking or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
see
"Oh, what's
somebody
up,
over by the
dude? Jump
WC.
in.
Hey, bro, come on.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking funny, man.
Yeah.
God.
You
And
know,
then, but God damn, I mean, like the amount of shit that we'd gone through, like who would have thought the fucking, I mean, like being in abusive relationships, being in fucking, being in therapy, being in recovery,
Yeah.
fucking losing people.
Yeah.
I mean, God damn, dude, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
It has been.
But like it feels like the dust is finally fucking settling for all of us, man.
Mhm.
It's wild. It's wild. I mean, like I don't know, like me and Paige just bought a house, and we were over there like unloading shit and letting Elias, our oldest, see the house for the first time, and Callie, my ex, brought the kids over to see the house. And then like Callie hung out with us in the garage, and I'm like, she was like, I mean, like we're not like friends, like we don't fucking hang out, you know what I mean? Like she's whatever, like she did what she did in our relationship, and whatever, gonna move past that. But to be like cordial enough to like hang out in the garage with her and Paige for like an hour, it's like that's fucking wild.
That's a big thing.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
like I mean,
When was this? This was just recent.
yeah, we
That's
just
cool, man.
closed.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean, and
It's important, man, for everybody to get along like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's me and Belle, we obviously had our thing, and a lot of that, the majority of it was me, 100%. You know what I mean? A lot of it was I was going through shit, man, and
Yeah.
and she just was in an unfortunate bystander.
Yeah.
Which, I wish I had a better way to put that, because it probably wasn't the best way to put it. But you know,
I mean,
like,
but
she just,
I mean, but it is
she
what it
didn't
is.
have.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, she had no idea that I was gonna go through any of that. You know
No,
what
how
I mean?
could she know?
Yeah, and so, you know,
Dude, how
there
did it? So I feel like I tell this story to like I'll talk to people. I'm like, oh, like I understand. Like Paige's brother passed away from similar shit,
okay,
and I don't know how much of that she wants public, but
that's fine.
but like when we first were talking, I was like, like my buddy Matt like went through this, so I understand. But like the way the story is in my mind, I don't know if it's accurate. So like, in my mind, I remember you got in a fist fight with some like your girlfriend's ex-boyfriend or some shit, and you broke your hand or wrist or something, and then Levi died soon after that. And was it like you were taking Vicodins from the wrist surgery or something, and then it just kind of kept going? Or am I remembering that wrong?
What are you asking?
Like how did you begin using?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because that's how I had it in my mind, but I feel like maybe I'm missing steps there or something.
Yeah. No. A lot of that happens to a lot of people. It does, where they get on some kind of medication because of an injury. But no, that's not what happened to me.
Oh.
No.
But like I'm not totally.
I did
making
mess
it
up.
up.
I
Right?
did mess my wrist up. Yeah, it was a different thing. It wasn't. Yeah, actually, it was a fight. Yeah, it was a fight up at the elementary school. And actually, my sister, I forgot all about that. It's crazy. I had my sister come pick me up that night, and her ex-husband, I think they were married at the time, but anyways, they came and picked me up, and yeah, it was shortly after that Levi passed. But no, I don't know, man. I don't know if there was like a specific moment where I think I just doing things over the years, and then that coupled with it was a combination of Levi passing away and me finding a drug I really liked.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, before Levi passed away, I was still doing, I was doing things, but it wasn't anything like, if I stopped, I was going to get sick. It wasn't, I didn't have like an addiction to anything at that point. I was just doing a lot of,
just trying shit.
substances, man. Really. Yeah. Just trying a lot of different things.
But you and him were always like that. As long as I've ever known both of you, it was always like, let's find some way to get fucking different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even like fucking coffee. Like I remember Levi drinking like 5 cups of coffee. I'm like, bro, we're about to go skate. Your heart's gonna explode.
Yeah, yeah. And that, I think a lot of that probably stems from being susceptible to that because of our dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you already have that susceptibility to being, an addict or having an addiction of some sort, and maybe not necessarily, even substances, but any kind of addiction. Over the years, man, I've realized that substances weren't.
That's not the only addiction.
Not the only addiction, and really wasn't even the problem. I mean, it was an issue for sure, but it wasn't, drugs weren't the reason why I was using drugs in a way. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Well, of course. It's like the whole like physical addiction thing's bullshit. It's not real. Yeah. It's what is the root of why do you want to use these drugs? Why do you want to? Why do you want to disassociate?
I wouldn't say the physical part isn't real, because it definitely is real. I mean, that part. There was times where, dude, I wanted to quit, but literally, I would get sick. I would get so sick.
Well, I mean that in the sense of like the way that they frame opiate addiction is if you ever try this, you're addicted. And it's like, okay, well then why is every grandma or like every person who has surgery not fucking shooting up dope and sucking dick for money? You know what I mean? Like it's not like these are not the same thing. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there's people that just don't. It just is a person to person basis. I think there's just a lot of people that don't have that they're not necessarily prone to that. A lot of it, I really do think a lot of it has to do with like my dad being an addict, and that's
your
not
genetics of
the genetics of just anything like minor mood altering was just like, oh man, like and which is crazy because like a lot of people feel like that do that because of something traumatic or something like that.
It's like a coping
coping skill, or trying to find an escape. And I mean, besides some of the stuff you already know, I mean, for the most part, I had a pretty solid upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, good parents, man. Problems just like anybody, but I didn't have a particularly.
It's not like you were fucking raped or like some extreme. I mean, that's like the most extreme thing, right? But like,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, we lived in a nice house, man. I always had food. I always had clothes, had a roof over my head, So, I mean, there's people that were way worse off, man, that, single mom and their mom's out stripping or their mom's out doing whatever to try to, provide for them. And so they don't have any sort of
guidance,
guidance or parent figure around. So, you know what I mean? So I knew right from wrong at a young age because of how I was raised, So it was always, for me, like, using was always like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. Like, I know this isn't, I know this. And I'm grateful because a lot of people I don't think necessarily have that, don't have that, maybe that guilt or that, like, it's kind of almost just like a beacon of right and wrong.
Yeah.
They don't.
You have that compass from your upbringing of like this. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it. So why am I doing it?
Yeah. And man, that was more, that to me was more of a hell than being like physically addicted to something. Like knowing like I'm better than this. Like I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
My parents raised me better than this, and I know that and I know I can be a better person than this. But like I'm so far into this right now that I don't even know how to get out. I don't even like I don't even know where the door is.
Yeah.
And so for so long, man, I was in that position of just not knowing how to get off, and that's when I ended up getting on the methadone.
Yeah.
And I have certain thoughts about that too. Even I'm not necessarily happy that I got on it, but at the time in my life where I did get on it, that was something that was brought to me, and it seemed like the way out. You know what I mean? And it was, and I'm not, methadone's helped me big time. I mean, I've got 8 years sober, man. I've got a great relationship with Lane. I got a good relationship with his mom now. We get along. I mean, we can co-parent good is what I mean by that. I got a good relationship with my parents now, and so just I think knowing that all that was possible in the back of my head and knowing that that's what I should be doing anyways, was like, that was probably the hardest thing, even harder than going through the withdrawals, man, being sick and not having anything.
Yeah.
Just knowing that, like, man, I shouldn't be doing this. This is not the type of person I am, and it wasn't. It was the person I became for a little bit there, but I always knew, man, that it wasn't what I should be doing. You know? And in a way, I'm grateful for that because I think, I think I'm grateful for that. Grateful that I had that upbringing because a lot of people don't, man. Like I work. Just, I work in the field of substance use, and I work with people that are just getting out of prison. And I see it, man. I can just see in some of these people's faces that they just don't. And you just talk to people for, I talk to everybody over there, man. I love what I do over there. I love helping people. I've always been like that. And so I really talk to people over there, and I really see what's going on with them. And you just, when you talk to certain people, man, you can just tell that they want it, but they just don't. They didn't have an upbringing, or they weren't taught as a kid, or they didn't have somebody in their life like I did, to be able to even know which direction to go in. Or it didn't even know up from down, And so it's cool to be able to help people.
It's interesting situation. to even be able to recognize that, because like you take things. What your base level 0 is not the same as everybody's, and it's hard. I think it is hard to recognize that, and so like you have a unique position to be able to see people who have a different starting point. Yeah, you came up in a good family, and you guys are you were raised in a Christian household with I've always been a very perceptive person too. Like there's been like my third grade teacher pulled my mom aside and was like, Matthew can read. He's really good at reading situations, and he's really good at adapting to those situations and helping people figure out just like problem solving in those situations. So like that was third grade. That's your nature, teacher, man. So I think you're in the right field. Yeah, I do. I've always even like when I was like getting high, man, and doing things, I still
like would try to help people out like in any way I could. You know what I mean? Like if I, had a couple bucks or something, even knowing that like, man, I'm probably gonna need that.
Yeah.
Probably gonna need that later.
Yeah.
I will give it to somebody.
Yeah.
And I've always had, I've always had that nature about me, man. I've always really cared about other people. I'm definitely like an empath. I definitely like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been through a lot of shit though, so I think that kind of solidifies who you are.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like to go through some hard shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cool getting to see people come out of that, man. That's like the coolest part of my job is seeing people like I used to tell people this all the time when I was working, because I do something a little bit different now than I was doing, but when I was working in the actual treatment center, I used to tell people like, man, I get to see miracles happen every day.
Yeah.
And like what I meant by that was because I would see people coming in so broken and just so like not, having any ounce of like hope and not knowing if they're gonna be able to make it through this, and then over time seeing that person transform, and then the person that they are when they leave that place is like sometimes it seems like they're not even the same person. And that's cool. That's a cool thing to see, man. It's cool. It's reassuring too in like my own life. You see that kind of stuff, and it just is that much more reassuring that, look, man, other people are doing this. It's possible for people to get better and change.
Yeah,
that's a cool thing.
I worked with do you know Dr. Cape by chance? She works with the county.
It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, I went through her program. It's like a therapy program, and it's like a group of men, and sometimes it's as many as like 30 people in one like Zoom call. Yeah. And but I went through her program for a year, and like going through that program, you see the growth, and you get to see, and it wasn't like an addiction thing. It was like a fix my negative thought spiraling shit. Yeah. And like how do I be more accountable and less like excuse driven and like anger driven, and start to be understanding driven, and get yourself into this new way, these new thought patterns. And so like being in a class with other men for a year, it's like you go from like guys giving like complete and utter bullshit excuses like, oh yeah, I don't know, man, like I didn't set my alarm and like this and that, and then like a year later, they're like, okay, these are the steps that I took, and those steps didn't work, so I apologize that those didn't work, but this is what I'm going to do next time, and you know what I mean? And like, and like, so like you just to see like a change in accountability, in these men, and just like, and that's just regular changes, and then we all talk about like relationship stuff and friendship stuff, and like how to manage that complicated chaos, and how do you manage, like, how do you set boundaries with people that you're not willing to kick them completely out of your life because they're your parents, they're either your siblings, you know what I mean? Like, how do I set healthy boundaries, but then like, and stick with them without like exiling people that are toxic from my life, and like that complicated mess of, or
just letting people treat you however they want.
Yeah, right. And man, like,
it seems that usually that's the two extremes. It's either not letting somebody, even come near me, or just letting somebody treat me
right. Just let you treat me like shit, and then like I suffer so that you can be in my life still. Like those, like, so learning to navigate those waters, man. It's wild. It's wild. Yeah. But I can see. I've never worked with like a lot of those men were addicts. Yeah. So they would actively talk about like, I'm working with Bill W. and Yeah. But specifically those men working on mental health stuff, it was pretty wild to see the difference just in a year. A year of talking with those men and going like, holy shit, man. Like, like one of the guys that was in the group was a cop, and he just fucking he got in an argument with his wife and fucking shot the wall next to her head. Oh shit! Just boom, you know. And like, so he taught like, and that's what made him join this fucking. That was the moment that he's like, dude, I gotta fucking do something. I gotta change something. So he joined this group, and he talked about, and like, I wasn't obviously like I never did any of that fucking extreme. Right. I just had I had these negative thought patterns where I would become a victim instead of realizing that like I was causing a lot of the problems that were in my life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You have you have the ability to change.
Yeah,
the
and just
outcome.
like in learning like not only what accountability is, but like learning how to hold myself accountable without like guilt and just
Yeah.
going like, okay, this is what you have to do now.
Yeah.
You know, so like you take a guy like that, a guy who thinks it's reasonable to like, I'm gonna prove my point by shooting the fucking wall
Right.
next to her head,
Right.
and
In an angry,
right,
an explosive moment where
yeah.
I'm not really focusing like I should be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right. And well, not only that, but like, you know, you going through that program, they talked about like, you know, there's no such thing as like losing it. You didn't lose it. You made a decision. You made a self-indulgent decision.
Right.
You didn't lose control. That's a myth. You don't lose control.
Right.
You don't black out like everyone, like, you know what I mean? And like, I mean, man, there were so many stories that I'd heard sitting through. I mean, those are 2 hours every week for a year, you know, and,
Yeah.
listening to all these men talk about like things that they had gone through or things that they had done and like what they're trying to figure out and like how they're trying to get through that and be a better person for their family or for their wife or whatever it is or whatever like drove them to the program.
Right.
It's pretty wild, man. But seeing that growth, I could imagine how exciting it is to like see
Yeah.
addicts get into recovery and like and actually start to like see the change in them. I mean, like addiction is like a very physical disease that you can see when it's like starting to like recover from it. It's like it's almost like akin to taking a shower when you're muddy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I would tell people like it does it like sometimes it feels like miracles happen, like that change happens right in front of your eyes because they come in just so beat up, man, homeless, a lot of them, not having any family, a lot of them too. Like a couple months, 2-3 months later, they're showering, they got a nice haircut, man. They started getting some nice clothes, they started talking a little better, and that is like a complete difference from the complete different person from the person they came in at, and so it is really cool, man, and that part's cool. And then even like down at because so I run 2 different types of programs over at Turning Point, and I do intakes for the recovery housing, and I also run that program, the recovery housing program. So it's people that have gone through like an inpatient treatment, and they're looking for some place to go after that that is still have some kind of structure, but they don't necessarily have to pay because it's through Medicaid, and so they can stay there for up to 3 months. And then the other program is a parole program. It's called the Offender Success Program. It's through MDOC, and that's also a 90-day program where guys are getting right out of prison and coming there, and that's like it's a parole house. So got guys that 15, 20 years. I just not too long ago left. Guy did 47 years.
Did 47 years.
47 years.
My God.
Yeah, for murder. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Nicest guy you'd ever meet.
Really?
Nicest guy you'd ever meet, man. Yeah.
Are you able to talk about the circumstances of his charges?
I don't know if I should, but
okay.
it was.
You don't have to.
It was something along the lines of he was kind of pushed into doing something to impress somebody.
Okay.
Right and one of those kind of situations, and and it was a family member, so it was even more like
even more pressure to perform.
And it was a sibling, so even more pressure to perform.
Yeah.
And an older sibling at that, so even more pressure.
God.
And nicest guy though, man. Nicest guy you'd ever meet.
Man. I'd love to sit down and talk to that guy just to see like what his life been like.
We'll be doing a podcast with him, so you'll be able to see him.
Yeah. Yeah. You are?
Yeah.
Killer. Yeah.
Yep. I just did another one with a guy who just got out of prison for 15 years for doing carjacking and armed robbery. 15
years, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Couldn't imagine someone else deciding what you're going to do with your time in life for 15 years.
15 years, let alone 47 years.
47 years is insane. That's a lifetime. I mean, how many people live full lives and die at 47,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. But it's cool watching even those guys come in, man. Some of them don't give a shit. Some of them they're going to go back. Some of them they're going to keep committing crimes, and that's just the nature of people, man, and that's why you have the penal system and why you have, places like that.
And some guys like it.
Some guys what?
Some guys like it. Some guys like going back in.
Oh yeah. Some guys definitely. Some guys are institutionalized. Yeah, you get a lot of that, man. Yeah, I was just talking to a guy the other day, man. He was talking. He broke his phone broke, and he couldn't use it to call anybody, and that's his only means of getting a hold of anybody. You know what I mean? He doesn't have much family, and he just was. Me and him were talking. He just, man, it just seems like it's just one thing after another. Sometimes, man, like it almost better off when I was in prison, man. You know, and understood why you say that, because everything's set up for you there. You know what I mean? You have a routine. You have everything you need there, and there's not much surprise throughout your day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're in prison, because everything, it's structured, and it's like that for a reason. And so when you're out in the real world,
there's nothing structured.
Well,
you have to figure it out yourself.
And now you just have to, and now anything can just happen. I mean, you know, not to say that anything can't happen in prison, but it's limited, right? I mean, there's only a certain amount of things that can go down in a prison, right?
Yeah.
And so you come out, and now you have to deal with, you know, who knows what. I mean, anything could happen.
Everything. I mean, traffic.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, something as simple as cars driving down the road.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about that.
Right. Yeah. Something
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let alone social interactions.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And let alone people looking at you because, you know, they know you're a felon. I mean, when you get out of prison, you could tell guys that get out of prison in the area that I work, because a lot of them the bus stops right there for one, in Pontiac, and a lot of them will have their prison jacket on, and it's like a brown tan jacket with brown tan pants. So you also got to worry about people looking at you funny, because you know they know you just got out of prison, and you know, so all that kind of stuff. But it's cool, man. I really do. I like what I do. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's a whole nother world I'd love to dive into with like both sides of it, you know, because I have a few friends that are sheriffs, but then also knowing people that have served time, and they just have completely different perspectives, where they think, like, my buddies that are sheriffs, like one of them's a good dude, a good honest dude, but the other one's kind of like got this hero complex where he's like, if no one else is going to do it, someone's got to do it. I got to do it. So I'm in there and I'm fucking doing it. I'm keeping the families, you know, when you're mowing your lawn on Sunday and everything, birds are chirping, everything's happy. It's because of guys like me, you know, and you want to be like, yeah, but also like you're also
I have a shotgun in my house.
You guys are also getting it wrong a lot.
Yeah.
You guys are getting it wrong a lot. People are you're getting, you know.
Yeah.
You get, I mean, you guys get it right sometimes, but a lot of the times I mean, there's a lot of things that have gone wrong in your profession, you know, so to be like, I'm only right. There's no nuance to this at all, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, and then there's the opposite where one guy, Fernando, a guy that I know, was completely thrived in the penal system. Completely thrived in it, needed that structure, completely realized like the way he thought and the way he acted was completely flawed and toxic. And he like really dove into religion and really dove into the penal system and thrived there.
Yeah.
But then there's also guys that I know that like came out fucking traumatized and were like fucking shook from it all too.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
Yeah,
so,
me and Brian, actually, the guy that I recorded with a little bit, talk about some of that. Yeah. Yeah, because
about being traumatized from the system.
Yeah, because you know, one of the points that he made, and I was thinking about the other way until he really opened up my eyes to like, okay, but what about the guys that are in prison? So like, you know, you hear about somebody will go into prison for a certain amount of time, and they'll go into prison and they'll end up doing more time than they were even supposed to do in the first place, because they'll get in trouble in prison. They'll get tickets, is what they're called. They'll, you know, get in a fight with somebody or something. And so actually, I know a couple of people. One who I used to work with, who was real close to me, he was only supposed to do 10 years, and throughout getting in trouble in prison and catching tickets and just really not giving a fuck, ended up doing like 20 years, 24 years, and was only supposed to do 10 years for like an unarmed robbery or something like that. Ended up spending 20 years in prison. Jesus. You know, because of.
But is it on him? I mean, you know what I mean? Like he's making these decisions that he's getting in trouble for, and they're just adding it on and adding it on.
Yeah.
It's like, at what point do you get serious and go, dude, fuck, I've
Yeah.
added a year to my whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely on him. That he was the first person to admit it. You know what I mean? He would be like, "Yeah, man, I just didn't give a shit."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was a part where there was a point where he thought he wasn't going to get out because he hit a guard in the head with a metal mop bucket strainer, and like the dude went down and was like leaking all over the place, and it was like a bad situation. And so he just was like,
fuck him, my life's over
at that point. And so that's when he just, you know, was doing that. So yeah, I mean, but what Brian brought up was, it's like, man, that's got to be hard for guys that go in and they're doing time with also people who are doing life who just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it was my thought. But Brian was like, yeah, but how traumatizing is it for the guys that are doing life that these people are coming in and out and leaving and stuff too, and you know, you're a lifer and you're just seeing these people get to leave and do free, you know, get their freedom back, and so I didn't think about it that way, and it was just cool that he, you know, posed it like that to me, because like I said, I never thought about it that way. I thought about how it would be traumatizing for the guys that are in there doing life, man, to just constantly, like, not taunted, but almost in a way like taunted the freedom, like, you know, like freedom's so close they can see it with other people, but they'll never have it themselves.
God,
yeah, it's
insane. It is really fucking weird that you can do something and then you're locked in a cage forever now.
Forever.
Like your entire life is over. That's so weird, man.
Yeah.
It's such a weird concept.
It is, yeah. Or that you can do
Not
something.
That murderers should be allowed to get out,
For sure,
you know,
right.
or go unpunished. You know, if someone killed someone I loved, I'd want them fucking locked up. But man, how weird.
Yeah.
How weird is that you could just exist now in a cage?
Yeah.
You know,
somebody tell you when you can go to the bathroom, when you eat, when you do anything, if you can make phone calls.
Here's your frozen orange juice. You got 8 minutes to eat.
And then what he brought up too is, what you got guards that come in. What if they're having a bad day?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, they get to leave, man, and you're just you know, a caged animal to some of them. You know, not all of them. There's some people. You know what I mean? So they just come in and they take out all their life aggression and all their shit out on you because
you're the animal.
Because you deserve it.
Yeah, you're the animal, right?
Yeah. God. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of, but you know, I think just like with anything, man, I think a lot of work can be done to make anything better. You know what I mean? I think a lot of things need that, but there's some good things that I think that they do too to try to help people. You know, it definitely could do a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
To help those kind of people that are dealing with that kind of stuff.
As far as like programs
programs, like actual rehabilitation, using the actual word of it, corrections, you know, like actually correcting behaviors and stuff. Yeah. And so I think there's a lot they do, but I think there's a lot more they could do.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how many people have come out worse, you know?
Yeah. The way he put it was like, it's up to you. You know, like it's
sure, but I mean, how many? Yes, but like, how many young guys go in there with a minor offense, and then they come out and it's just like, oh, you just solidified. This is this guy's life now.
Yeah, right.
Like you guys just created a monster,
right?
Instead of rehabilitating this like 20-year-old kid, you charge him with a felony, and now guess what? The only way he's feeding himself is fucking doing more felonious shit.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, what do you like? What the what's this kid gonna do? He's gonna go work at fucking McDonald's because they'll hire him.
Yeah, and
no, he's gonna fucking sling dope, and then he can feed himself.
Yeah, and then don't let it be like an indecent exposure or something like that, because now you're a sex offender, and now I don't care what anybody says. A murderer and a sex offender are not looked at the same. They're both felons, you know, and they both did something atrocious, right? Yeah. But they're not looked at the same. So, and just because you have a CSC charge doesn't necessarily mean that you sexually assaulted or that you did something to somebody. You can get that from just from having an indecent exposure. Yeah, you know, you can get put on a sex offender list.
I've always heard the rumor that people will get on the sex offender list for like peeing in public. Yeah. Is that real?
You know, I've asked somebody that before, and I think it depends on the situation. I think like if you're behind a building or something like that, then they're not gonna, you know, like, dude, don't be doing that. But like if you're like on the side of a building where like there's cars driving by and like people can see you, and you know, even if maybe necessarily somebody can't see something, it's like, come on, man, you know. Like,
Yeah, but
there's some
imagine having
woods
to
right over
knock
there.
on those, having to knock on your neighbor's doors and be like, "Hey, I'm a sex offender.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Here's what happened."
That's what I'm saying. That's just because somebody has that doesn't necessarily mean they did something atrocious.
You know how many times I was fucked up at Cooley and peed there?
Dude, you know how many times I streaked there probably? You know what I mean? Like
That's what I'm saying, man.
you know?
Imagine if we got fucking dude.
Oh,
one time I was fucking hammered.
I know.
there.
I think we both. I can't remember his name, but I think we both know somebody that I think they peed on the side of, like the WCA or something like that, and they got a charge. I think.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that story, but I might know the person. It's a small town out there.
Yeah, it is. He
Dude.
got put on the registry. But
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, dude, offered his peeing on. I think it was Motor City Guitar actually that he peed on. The
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah.
Dude, one time I was hammered at Cooley with Levi. I had no idea where I was at. And I was like, I'm going to pee my pants if I don't pee. And he's like, go fucking pee, stupid, or whatever.
Right.
And so, like, I walk out into the middle of this field and start peeing. And as soon as I started peeing, dude, the fucking lights came on the building at Cooley. I realized.
I thought you were going to say cops.
I realized I was in the grassy area by the basketball courts of Cooley.
wide open.
The lights
It is
in
wide
the
open
middle,
back there.
and then now I have a spotlight on me and my fucking shriveled cold dick. And Levi's just like
He's loving it.
just
I bet.
slapping his leg.
Yeah, for
And fucking Callie and Amber fucking walked up
Okay.
as I'm peeing. They walked from the other side of the light, so they both walked up on me peeing in the field. Dude, my stomach dropped when those lights came on. I was like, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of I'm gonna get heavy.
Okay. Get happy.
I got printed something. So we were speaking of like going to therapy and your brother
Yeah.
and like toxic relationships and whatever.
Yeah.
So me and my ex were going to we were me and my ex were going to couples therapy for a while, and then basically it got to the point where we're like, dude, this is not gonna fucking work. Like it's too toxic. It's done. So I kept going to therapy, and so like I kept seeing the same therapist, and Callie stopped going, and so through those conversations, the doctor was like, hey, I don't know if you've like put this together, but there's some parallels between Levi dying and you and your ex breaking up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, what was that?
That's a carbon monoxide. That was 5 beeps though,
That
right?
was 5 beeps.
Okay.
Do.
Yeah. 4 means we're gonna die.
Oh, okay.
5 means the battery's low.
They should really change that.
I know. It seems like
so you don't have to sit
seems
there
like-
and hear how many beeps are going to know if you're going to die or
It
not.
seems like a fall. Dude, we had the fucking fire department here the other day. I don't know why that's going off. Those are brand new. Maybe the batteries are dead. Whatever.
I don't feel lightheaded or anything yet. So
Yeah, we're
We're
good.
all right.
We're good. They'll just like find us.
I've definitely had a lot worse things in my system. So.
And carbon monoxide.
Yes, it'll be all right. Not that I want.
I gotta go fucking.
That's
get
fine.
rid
Go
of that
ahead.
thing.
Go ahead. You're good.
God, what a cock block. Oh. Also in a really awkward spot. I hate editing too, so I was like, I just ripped that off the wall and threw it.
Oh,
Like, I gotta be quick.
Yeah.
That was it was the old one that was going off. Yeah, dude, we had a carbon monoxide fucking alarm go off, and we were like, it's just beeping, so we're like, what the fuck, you know? So we called I like Google it. I'm like, what are we supposed to do? And it's like, get out of the house, call 911, have like rescue professionals clear your house with like monitors. All right. So we call the fire department. They walk through and like, we got zeros everywhere. Where's the monoxide alarm so we can look at it? And he like puts his flashlight on the back of it, and it's like 4 beeps monoxide, 5 beeps batteries low. I'm like, that's a fucking stupid. Like, you gotta count.
That's what I'm saying.
One
dude.
should say, get out, get out, get
How
out.
hard is it to put a
And
voice in there? Yeah.
And the other one should say, low battery. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Instead of you sitting there have to go,
1, 2, 3, 4. Was that 4 or 5?
was that 4 or 5?
I don't know. Let's just stay here for a minute. Then you're fucking both rigor mortis and shit.
Yeah, they got to come up with
Jesus
a better
Christ.
system for that one, man.
Oh my god, so dumb.
Yeah.
Okay,
Reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Some correlations between my brother dying and you and Callie breaking up.
yeah. So me and my ex were going to therapy, and then she stopped going, and I continued going. And the therapist said, "Yeah, there's a lot of parallels between your relationship with Callie ending and you losing Levi, unexpectedly." So she was like, she goes like, "I know you're like a creative type, and I don't want you to like necessarily write a song, but she's like, I want you to like put effort into this and like stew on it and think about where the correlations are and like whatever. So like, I want you to write something for me." Yeah. So then I did.
Okay.
Do you want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Okay. I printed it out.
Okay.
I was prepared.
All right. I like it.
But it's going to be hard to read because I'm old and it's dark in here, but it matches the vibe.
Okay.
All right.
And these are some of the things that you like were supposed to correlate between the two?
She wanted me to like write something, so I just like wrote like a piece about it all.
All right, let's hear it, man.
All right. I stopped by a spot today. A spot that I simultaneously hate and have grown to love. It's a tree. It's a beautiful tree made of these fractals that are so perfectly imperfect, it looks like a piece of art. Its jagged edges and limbs reaching out to nowhere, standing there, indifferent to the fact that it did one of the worst things that have ever happened in my life. I come to check on it sometimes, especially when times are hard. I make sure it's still there. The tree puts me in check. It doesn't care that I carved an L into its bark. It's indifferent it's indifferent to the fact that it scarred me and now me it. I'm thankful that I made the choice to ride my motorcycle because I was able to sob under my helmet's visor anonymously. I like to check in with my tree because I get to check in with death. Just to get a whiff of her perfume and remember that she'll be around for me whether I court her myself or she steals me away from my company. The tree took my best friend, and in its indifference, it stood there with enough strength to hold itself up and him. The leaves have fallen from the limbs already this year. If only it had the same compassion, and it could have shook him off as his colors were changing. The tree's jagged edges remind me of her. Beautiful to the eyes, but holds this energy, this dark and tragic energy. How can something that's hurt me so deeply still manage to suck me back into its gravity? Something that made a home look like a prison and a belt look like a noose. Made children's laughter sound like nails on a chalkboard and made progress feel like betrayal. She stands there indifferent to the fact that she's done one of the worst things that's ever happened to me. I check on her sometimes. I want to use her when times are hard. I make sure she's still there, and she puts me in check. She doesn't care that I carved my way through her bark to build a family, and she's indifferent to the fact that I've scarred her and now her me. I'm thankful that I rode my motorcycle from her today. It allowed me to sob under my helmet's visor anonymously. I left to go check in on my tree, to see if turning this body into some kind of strange fruit for the neighbors to find would be better than remembering that someone stole her away from my company. She took my best friend, and in their indifference, I'm left with barely enough strength to hold myself up. I've tried to leave, but I keep falling back. Already this year, I've forgotten how to have compassion for myself, and it's made my colors change to black. I couldn't have done much differently. He's gone, and now she's gone too. I've grieved for him for 10 years, but now I must start this grieving process over. Both of my best friends are now dead. I needed to smell death's perfume to realize that I'm not ready. I stopped to a spot today to hang her from it instead of me.
Damn. Wow. That last part was pretty deep. I love all of that. No, that's good, man. I like that. That's crazy. I was just thinking about writing a song about that tree 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I swear to God. That's crazy that you read that, man, because I literally was, just thinking about, just some of the lyrics, what they could be and different things like that. Like something like, did you even know the weight you were holding? Something, you know what I mean? Like just, and so that's crazy, man, that you read that. That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, what are you sorry for, dude?
Yeah, it's
Nothing to be sorry about. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm you know me, dude. I love music and I love writing, and so that's cool. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sounds like it was probably pretty hard to write.
dude, it was. I was in the middle of it. It's weird. I feel like I'm reading someone else's shit now, just because I'm so disconnected from like the hell that I was in.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, I know how that is, man. I look at pictures of myself when like I was in active addiction, and I'd like don't even recognize that person a lot of the time.
Yeah.
There's a specific picture of me in the hospital. I think after Lane was just born, and I have like one of those like baby like head one of those baby head things around my neck that like the babies can put their head in, or lay the baby in rather. And I look so skinny in that picture, and I could just tell that like that I was high or that I was like using in so yeah, I definitely know what you mean by like looking back on things or from a different, almost seemed like from a different life.
It is, man. I mean? It is. When I think about my relationship with my ex and how toxic it was, and how loud and scary it was, and just all the shit that we had put each other through. And like I look back and I'm like I'm with Paige, and Paige is a fucking beautiful person. I'm like so thoroughly happy with her that I'm like I can't, like, it's hard for me to even remember what I felt like all the time for 13 years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. It's really cool when you find a person like that, man.
Oh, dude, I mean, she's fucking great, man. I adore her thoroughly. It's I feel the same way about Amber. I do. Even though go through what we're going through, man. I feel like that about her. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, this is not me and Paige's relationship is not fucking rainbows and unicorns.
Oh,
like,
no.
You know what I mean? Like we have shit that we got to work through.
For sure.
Every
relationship does, man. There's not a perfect relationship out there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
good ones. But nobody's perfect.
There's a lot of parallel lines between like what you guys are struggling with and what we struggle with, and but they're not detrimental. They're not like these. Okay, this is like the end.
And I gotta do better about not feeling like they are, because I can, you know what I mean. Like, just because of I think all the things that happen in my life, like with something happens a lot of the time in my life in the past, they were detrimental things. I mean, I just have had so many different, you know what I mean, that like it's hard to sometimes discern between something that is detrimental or could possibly be detrimental to something that isn't, and that you can work on and do better at.
Well, something that's going to be work versus like the end.
Right.
It's hard for me to differentiate that a lot. And I'll be like, fucking,
that's a better way to put it than
dude,
what I said.
I'm going to share a story that Paige is probably going to be upset about. But here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Dude, so we were at Creepy Cheapy.
Paige, we apologize beforehand.
She's gonna be so mad that I'm sharing this, but I think it's a kind of necessary story just to like share, like, we're not perfect,
Okay.
And like I confuse minute issues with end of the relationship issues a lot.
Me too.
And it's just because of like being in a toxic relationship for so long, I don't even understand them.
Yeah.
But so we're at Creepy Cheapy, which is at the Crowfoot. It's at the Crowfoot. Every year, Halloween time, they put on this gigantic concert where there's like 15 local bands that cover a famous band. So there's like like the guys dress up like System of a Down, and they play play a full set of System of a Down. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They're doing the whole thing.
And there's like 5 or 6 rooms. Like there was like DJs going, and there's like Taking Back Sunday cover.
That's
and
really
like
cool.
It's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway, this year, we like 5 of us, like of our friend group, went as like the Wizard of Oz character. So I was like the Scarecrow, Paige was the Tin Man,
Okay.
our buddy dressed up in a yellow jumpsuit and was the Yellow Brick Road. Like, it's
Okay.
fucking, anyway, so we're all dressed up. We all go as a group, and in the middle of it, like we're drinking, we're hanging out, having fun, watching these shows, and a girl that I knew walked by, and I was like, "Oh, hey, just to let you know, that girl, I know that girl. She might say hi to me, and she's a stripper."
Okay.
I was like,
you just felt the need to let
I was
her
like,
know
she's
that
a
just in
straight.
case.
Because she was like, "Why do you need to tell me that? Like, I don't
That's
care
what-
if you know people." And I was like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong if I say hi to a stripper and you don't know that she's a stripper.
Right.
So a couple hours go by, we're drinking, whatever. Like, Paige is pretty saucy, I'm pretty saucy, and I leave to go get like another couple of tall boys or whatever from the bar. And on my way back, the girl stopped. She's like, "Oh, hey, Matt." I'm, "Hey." She like gave me like a side hug, like, "Hey, what's up, buddy? You know,
Right.
how you doing? All right, I'm gonna get back to my people or whatever." And I go and I leave and I go back to our group, and I go, "Hey." She just said hi to me, and Paige goes, "Did she suck your dick?" And I was like, yeah. In the fucking 45 seconds I was gone, she sucked my dick.
Well, let's not pretend that it wouldn't only take 45 seconds.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyways.
So she goes, "Oh, would she suck your dick?" And I was like, yeah, she sucked my dick. I was gone for 1 minute. She sucked my dick. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And she's like, oh, well, now you have history with her. I thought she was just a stripper. And then it like turned into a whole thing where like the whole night was and I was just like, you know what? I'll move out tomorrow. And I went and sat outside.
Well, first of all, let's rephrase. You guys both were, or not rephrase. Let's recap. You both were sauced up, right?
Saucy. I mean, fucking, dude, sloshed, properly fucking gone. Yeah. And she's like, so I went and sat outside. It's fucking freezing out. I'm wearing a stupid costume with a really thin costume shirt. And I'm just sitting there fucking freezing. And I'm just stewing. And then just like happy people are walking by. And I'm like, these fucking pieces of shit. These fucking homos. You know? And she, so then she's like texting me. And she's like, "Where are you? Why are you not coming back in here?" So like, we're like arguing like via text as I'm sitting, freezing my dick off. And then her friend is like, "Why are you saying you're going to move out? Like, you're fucking being so toxic right now."
Right.
And I was like, fucking shut up. It's our issue. Leave it alone, you know?
Right.
And I was like, we like got in an Uber together in downtown Pontiac. I like stripped half my costume off and threw it on the ground. I was like, fucking stupid. It's fucking dumb. We shouldn't even fucking be here. And Paige's parents were watching our kids. So we had to go back to her parents' house. So I couldn't even get away from her to like let it cool down. So I just like stomp
Pouting
down
the whole time.
I
Yeah.
pout down the stairs
yeah.
and get into the bed. And I just like, go to sleep. And I wake up in the morning and she's like, "Are you still mad?" And I was like, "Am I mad that you started a gigantic fight over a fucking, like, over nothing?" Like, "Yeah, dude, I'm fucking mad." And then she, like, my reaction was like way, like, you know, I shouldn't have, like, fucking, I should have comforted her, I guess, but I felt like I was being like an accountable boyfriend by being like, "Hey, just want to let you know, like, this might make you uncomfortable, and I want you to know about it so you don't find out later,"
Right.
you know?
Right.
And but then we get up in the morning and we're both being bitchy to each other still, and her mom wakes up and she's like, "How'd last night go?" And she's like, "Well," and she's like, "Actually," and her mom is like, so she like retells the story, and I'm like jumping in and going, "Well, that's not how that happened.
Not
And
exactly how it went
that's
down.
not, you know,
Well,
hold
you
on.
said this
You
though
said-"
before I.
Yeah, and then her mom was like, "You guys you need to get over this jealousy shit." She's like, "You guys both like each other, right? Like, you guys," she's like, "You guys gotta stop with this jealousy." And we just kind of like looked at each other, like, "All right."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You know damn well she didn't suck my dick right then and there."
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, "No, you said she did before." I'm like, "That's not what happened."
Yeah.
You know.
Communication's huge in relationships, man.
But like that stupidity of an argument, I could have been like, "Yeah, she didn't, dude.
Right.
I just said hi to her and
Right.
like let's go watch fucking Taking Back Sunday."
Right.
Instead, I was like, I'm moving out.
Right.
I'm packing my shit tonight.
Yeah.
How you
Yeah,
gonna pack your
it's-
shit when your kids are at my mom's house?
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But-
I tend to jump to extremes too sometimes.
Dude, I don't know what that is. I gotta fix that. I gotta stop doing that shit. But
Yeah.
fuck yeah, dude.
I think what some of us, for me, is like, just because, like I said a little bit ago, sometimes I think you're just so used to things turning into that like you're like preparing for it early almost.
Yeah, you're like ramping up. You're like, all right, I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
Let's start slamming doors and screaming.
Right.
Like, here we go. And then
subconscious, not even knowing that like that's why you're doing it.
oh yeah, I
You
never
know?
know. I never know until I'm. And then sometimes, like, dude, when I was with my ex, sometimes I'd be fucking screaming, and I'd be like, in my mind, I'd be like, I'm not even that mad.
Yeah. Right.
I would literally be thinking about how I'm not that mad about it, but I'm screaming
But you're
out
screaming
loud.
at the top of your lung. You just punched a hole in the door. You're
Literally, yeah.
I
I'm
know.
screaming at the top of my lungs, slamming doors, telling her to fucking whatever horrendous thing can come to mind.
Right,
And
right.
dude, I said some fucking horrible shit to my ex.
yeah,
I mean, but I mean, don't get me wrong. She also did.
Oh yeah.
You know, she
for
said
sure.
some fucking horrible shit to me too. You know,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's funny to think about. Like, I wasn't even that. I'm not even that mad.
Not even that mad right now.
I'm not even that mad right now. But I'm hearing my voice like
Almost
cracking from
almost like you
screaming.
came out of yourself just to like, why are you?
Yeah, like, I don't
right
even-
now. Why are you doing that?
Like, yeah, like I went, dude, I remember one time I went through her phone and, like, I was just like, I feel like something's going on. And, like, we had just got back together.
Yeah.
So, like, I was, like, going through her pictures and, like, I found pictures of, like, one of her exes from, like, 3 years before that. And I, like, woke her up screaming. I'm like, you fucking bitch. You got
knew
pictures
it.
of your boyfriend.
Right.
Your
You're still
ex-boyfriend.
sleeping with him. I
And
knew
she,
it.
yeah, and she's like, what the fuck? This is just in the cloud. I don't even know how to delete shit from the cloud. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Right,
And I'm like, as I'm like yelling at my ex, I'm like, about it because I was so upset. I was like thinking, like, dude, you literally tried to find something to get mad about. Like, why are you screaming? I'm thinking about that as I'm like,
As you're doing it.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew you. I shouldn't have trusted you. You fucking cheated on me. I knew you would do it again.
Right. Right.
So dumb. So toxic.
Yeah.
God, it's a different person.
I'm glad you are, man. I'm glad that you're
It's crazy.
that you're out of that.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
I mean, God, I remember. Yeah. There's some shit that I shouldn't say, but I remember there was a moment where you pulled me to the side. You're like, dude, you get along with this chick so much better. Like, why don't you date that chick? And I was like, hey, we're in the other chick's house.
Right
I
now.
live here.
She's in the other room.
She's sitting in the
I
couch.
have kids with her.
Right. Yeah. Dude, my babies are sleeping, dude. What are you talking about? You're like, yeah, but you and her get along so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
A lot of noise here.
Yeah, you're fucking good, man. We did like an hour 20, dude.
Have we?
Yeah. And I know you said you got some shit to do. So
Okay.
holiday stuff, family stuff, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we should fucking wrap this up. But
Yeah.
you were like, I don't know if I want to do the podcast yet. Like, I gotta like make sure I got my ducks in a row. So like people, fucking dude,
Yeah.
I've known you for fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
Like you can come on whenever you want.
That's my problem, dude. And especially like with just with the stuff that we're talking about, like the stuff I'm getting into, I got to be better about just doing things and feel more confident about doing them. Because I know I'm a creative person. And I know that not everybody's gonna like it, and I got to stop worrying about that kind of
Fuck
shit.
it. Fuck them.
You know
Who
what I mean?
cares if they don't like it? Dude, you know how often, like, everyone, guys that I work with find out that I have a podcast. Like, what do you even talk about? Like, what do you even know? And I'm like, you think I talk about pipe fitting?
What do you even know?
Like, yeah, I can know things.
That's such
Dude,
a dude thing to say.
I
What
like-
do you even know?
like, you
bro?
think I talk
what do
about-
what do you possibly have to talk about?
You think I talk about pipe fitting? Like, I don't give a fuck about this. The second I'm not on the job site,
It's
pipe doesn't
gone.
exist.
Yeah, right.
There's so much pipe in my house. I don't know where it's at. Fuck. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like anyone that's like, oh, you fucking, I can't believe you think you can do this or whatever. It's, fuck you,
Yeah,
dude.
what
I'm
are
doing
you
what
doing,
right.
man?
What do you do? Right, exactly.
What are you
do?
doing?
Oh, you're gonna like go wrench on your car in your garage to stay away from your wife and kids for 5 hours again?
Right.
Enjoy that, buddy. I'm gonna have a
Go have
podcast
some
or make some
fun.
videos.
Yeah,
and write
be
some
creative and yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm excited, man. For I think we started talking about it a little bit, but giving people a platform to create and just to a spot where it's safe for them to come and create too, not where they're not going to be judged and where they can come and just put out whatever it is that they think is creative. You know what I mean? And because man, I was telling this on the phone, like there's so many people, man, just over the years, and I'm sure even probably some people man that are so talented, but they let life shit get in the way, and maybe not even like they let life shit, but just life shit happen to them, and so they didn't necessarily get a chance to have to express to other people their creative outlet, and so it would be so cool, man, to have a place where people can come and showcase their talents and showcase their art and music and comedy and anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Poetry and just something, man, to where they can come and feel safe, and also where other people can enjoy that too, because there's some really creative people, man, that I've came across.
And creating a platform where you can discover new artists to follow, that's fucking huge. That's cool as fuck. That's like Tiny Desk Concert. I'm sure you've seen those.
Yeah.
Like NPR's Tiny Desk Concert.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm like, I feel stagnant listening to music, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna go on NPR and find a new artist on Tiny Desk. You know what I mean? Because it
I'm glad
seems
you
like
brought that up, because I forgot all about that,
dude.
Tiny
Well,
Desk.
they fucking
I love
curate
that Post Malone one, dude. He does.
Yeah.
He's really good in that one. I like.
Yeah, but like I have found so many people from Tiny Desk that I'm like obsessed with now. Like Lucky Day, Daniel Caesar, Idols. Idols is like the hardest punk band of all time. They're fucking brand new.
You should start sending me some of that stuff. Like when you come across
So
that, man, because
good.
I'm trying to expand my musical listening.
I'm right now. You know how we both are. Like we get obsessive about shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, I'm fucking really stuck on Dave Matthews. I can't listen to anything else.
Are you?
I'm fucking
Out of all people,
I'm fucking
stuck, bro.
stuck.
Okay,
It's so good.
he is good.
I might
but-
get a sticker for the car, dude. I'm
Dude,
obsessed.
bro. Do it. I'm gonna go get a tattoo
On my neck.
right on my neck.
Dude, I'm stuck. I like whenever something else comes on, I'm like, ugh, Dave Matthews, right back to him.
Yeah.
Dude, we had to go get Paige's car. And on my way, I dropped some clothes off to a charity or whatever. And when we got back in the car, my radio would not, like, it kept saying like to use the sat nav, like fucking put the car into run mode or whatever. And it was like just stuck. It was like, and it was like glitching out. And I spent like 10 minutes typing in a chat GPT, like what was going on, so I could figure out how to reset the radio so it would work. And she's like, Matt, we don't have time. Matt's coming over. I got to go get my car. Like, we're running out of time in like 2 different ways right now. We do not have time for this. And I got it to work, and I was like, I did that shit for Dave. She's like, you're so stupid.
Dave had his hand on me.
She's
in the
like,
process.
oh no, you had to talk to me. I'm like, we just talked for fucking 2 hours on the podcast. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
That's
I did that shit for Dave.
That's
fucking idiot.
That's so funny.
But yeah, dude, we got to wrap up. We got
All right.
shit to do.
Sounds good, buddy.
Fuck yeah, man. Hey, well, your podcast is
Still standing. Matt Ferrell still standing. I only have a YouTube right now. I made a Facebook last night, and it immediately got disabled, and then permanently disabled.
oh weird.
Yeah, I sent had me send a picture in, and
Oh.
really got it. So
Yeah, I had to do that too. Now that you said that, because you got to verify that you're a real person.
yeah, but it was like, sorry, we're permanently disabling the account. So I was like, okay.
And maybe just make a new email.
Yeah, so right now you could just, I don't have anything posted yet, but it will be Matt Ferrell still standing, and it'll probably be that across all platforms.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you got to fucking get your link tree and all that shit set up. Yeah, I'll help you. We'll get you all squared away, because you got to get started. You got a lot of interesting people to have conversations with.
I do. Yeah.
You got to get going on that, dude.
Yeah. I'm excited.
And I'm gonna hold your ass accountable, because we've been dreamers our whole lives. And we've been talking about doing podcasts for 10 years, and now, like, I'm 6 months in.
Yeah.
Now you need to get started, so you can fucking so
And
we
I
can
got
keep
all
this
the
momentum
equipment,
going,
and
man.
I got one in the books somewhat already. I might redo that one with him. I might just try to get some good clips out of it, man, because the audio is just so messed up, and you know how
people
dealing
will
with
shut
some
it
of that
right
can-
off.
Yeah, and you know how dealing with some of that it's so frustrating to try to get everything. So
Fuck yeah, because you're like trying to learn, like you're trying to build the skill of doing podcasts, but then also trying to learn
a
this
new skill of
huge
editing.
fucking I mean, there's so much, dude. But
So I got a lot of it done last night, which was really cool. But I'm gonna be putting some clips out, man, for some people to watch. And then Brian was so good too, man, through that podcast, because I had to keep getting up and turn the camera on. And he was so good, man. He would just sit there and talk like I was still sitting in front of him, even though I'm getting up. So he's
good at it.
It was just cool that he was like working with me to get this out, because he was excited to do it just as much as I was. And before we did it, there were some things we had to run to Myers, me and him, to grab an extension cord, because it didn't have, so just little things that you find out in the process of doing these things. And he was so good for it. So I'll probably do another one with him and post the full thing.
Yeah, man. I'm sure he's got plenty of stories to fucking
Oh, he
share.
does.
You know, so
At the end of it, I was like, well, what else? Is there anything else we want to talk about? He's like, oh, I could do this for hours, man. I was like, well, all right.
yeah, fuck
So,
yeah,
yeah,
dude.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me, bro. This is
Dude,
cool.
yeah. We got to do this again. This is fun.
Absolutely.
Fuck yeah,
Ultimate
dude.
purpose is not survival. It's finding purpose in what you love.
I'm pumped to be branching out and being like, hey, we're gonna sit down and have a couple-hour podcast.
Is it? Is it, dude?
Jesus
We just like talked for 5 minutes. I'm like, is it though? I've always been inspired by this shit.
Yeah. Dude, that pizza was so greasy.
It was disgusting.
It was not disgusting.
Disgusting.
Good times, noodle salad.